Okay, and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in FreeCol in our France run. This will be likely the last part, as we attempt, probably succeed, to secure our independence. Okay. So the Europeans have not arrived this turn. That gives us a little bit more time to prepare. Distribute some of those new guns. We've got 88 horses left. Oh, interesting. Now shows them going to become colonial regulars. We'll see if that actually happens. Colonial regulars are a little bit better than just regular veterans, I believe. Have a defensive power of 4, offensive power of 3. And this is showing their armed power. Veteran ones aren't, for whatever reason. But yeah, the veteran ones in theory are a little bit stronger as well, although they are weaker than everyone else. They are stronger than everyone else armed with a gun. They're better, and of course the Royal Expeditionary King's regulars are still a little bit better as well, although we obviously can't train them. Oop, here they come. So that is the Royal Expeditionary Force. I say, as more and more ships arrive, dropping off more troops. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say we want to activate. Actually, the way I'm gonna do it is probably a weird way to do it. We're just to activate all the units. I'm gonna deal with them as they come up. Twitch chat saying the art for the Royal Galleons are not as they stand out as the original game. That may be the case. I think the Royal Galleons are not that much different than like a mix of the frigate, frigate and galleon model in this game, I suppose. Okay, so we activated all those units, activated all these units, making sure got all my combat units active so that we don't have to micro quite so badly. Ah, and Twitch chat saying they were very different in the original. I have not seen the ones in the original, sadly, so I don't know what the original ones look like. So, Continental, Cavalry Regular. We'll go ahead and prepare a response. And obviously, the ones that are running down won't have enough units that have moved get a penalty to their attack. In fact, I can show that by issuing an attack command here to show you what the penalty is. So I guess you just need one full movement point. If you have one full movement point, you don't get the penalty, but if you've got a partial movement point, you get penalized. So I could actually attack here, and this would be a pretty reasonable attack. So let's actually go ahead and do that. So we attempted an attack. Attack was not successful, so he's now a regular Continental soldier instead of Continental Cavalry, because that's how the damage is handled in this game. Your cavalry lose their horses if they lose battle. Your infantry lose their guns. And the rest of the guys usually get captured if they lose a battle. So in this case, we defeated one, so demoted one of their guys to a regular. Fortify, we want you guys to move down here. Now, slightly annoyingly, we are moving on top of a town, so it's going to pop up the town every time. There might be a way to turn that off in the preferences, but I have not gone looking for it. So we were demoted. We are attacking into the forest, which is not the perfect place to be counterattacking into. Ideally, we'd want them in the open. So we demoted them to infantry. So as you can see when you're attacking, you get an attack bonus of 50%. The reason this is maybe not the best place to be attacking them is because they're getting a defense bonus from the forest that's 50%. Otherwise, we'd be running... What, they'd have 7 to defend versus our 9, so we'd be running better than 50-50 odds. Running just below 50-50 odds here. Which is why we're not winning all of them. Mostly attacking with the Continental stuff because they have best attack of all our units. Whereas we'll try to keep most of the sort of not mobile counter, or most of the ones that aren't Continental Cavalry, dug in our fortifications. Do we have enough guns there to get you equipped with guns? No. Because we don't, I'm actually going to unmount you. Let's see if I can find the one I actually have selected. There's one of you. It might be that one. Let's mount. We actually have one with a gun there, so we'll equip you as Dragoon. There's another one that's armed but unmounted. Another one of the Continental Cavalry. Now, about half our force is the Continental Cavalry, so we're basically going to attack with about half our force, and we're going to keep the rest sort of dug in on various bits of fortification. Most of our bits of fortification are plus 100% defense, so we're going to have an advantage on defending everywhere except for this city here. So this city is unfortified, so that's kind of where I expect the expeditionary force is going to attack first. And then we'll pick one of the other lightly defended cities next. They might actually go straight to Charles Fort next, because Charles Fort is actually the least walled of our cities. I think it's only a plus 50 there. It might be a plus 100, because it looks like it's got the same walling image. I don't remember if we were able to get it up to a fort or not. It was being limited by its size. Okay, if I do it with the key bindings, it's coming up the city every time. Good thing to remember. Now, I don't know if the Continental Army is actually going to bother with my troops out in the open. Or, not my troops, my colonists out in the open. So that is the attack. I haven't taken Milk Court yet, which is surprising. I think we might have a cannon there, which might have been doing a decent job defending itself. Oh, maybe they're actually attacking the coastal city instead. I hadn't accounted for that. And there's, because we just put all the Continental Cavalry in there, there's quite a few people in that location. So that was the battle reports. Victory, 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 defeat, victory, 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 defeat, victory, 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 defeat, so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. So we got enough to get you mounted up, so we'll mount you. And to mount anyone else, I have to demount someone. To mount you, so we can mount you. And okay, we got, so any of the Continental Cavalry or Continental units that get completely disarmed apparently demote to veterans. So what's going on here? So we've got a bunch of veterans with no equipment from basically the ongoing defense. The veterans are still going to be better than these, the people we actually have mounted up. So we're actually going to remove all your equipment. Remove all your equipment. Remove all your equipment. Disarm you. And we're going to arm up as many of the veterans as we can. And at this point, because at this point we know they're attacking the city, everyone who is not needs to be in the city or doesn't, basically anyone who's not armed, it's time for them to leave the city. They're not actively participating in the defense of the city. Oops. Sure, they can take tools with them, that'll be fine. Actually, no, we need those tools if we want the fortress mission. Although we're not going to finish the fortress before, I think, the end occurs. Where did the tool guy go? Put the tools back, please. And we've got enough forces to get one more of those guys mounted. There we go. Where did that veteran? There's the veteran. Yep. Let me see if I can find that. I think there's almost certainly going to be a preferences for turning that off. Maybe there isn't. This message is not what we're looking for, I think. It's not going to be in here. Okay, we're just going to have to suffer the slow way. Right, but they were very different. The original Iroquois might. Twitch? What do you think the Iroquois might do? Oh, that might have been a response to me saying they might attack the villagers I've got out in the open, I suppose. Oops. Fortified veteran in there. We probably don't want there, right? He has no gun. Okay, Twitch just confirmed what I said. Okay. least in this situation, do want to direct the town. I want to move these into the thing to be traded. Okay. You probably don't want to stay there, but you don't have any movement anyway. Oops. Okay, so that's the turn. Now we see how the expeditionary force is going. Advisor, so we can see. Okay, so we're down to 30, about 44 and a bit cavalry. Okay. So yeah, we did take a lot of losses in our Continental Cavalry, because I wasn't actually expecting them to attack into the fortifications where the Continental Cavalry were. You can see roughly still quite a few there. Although, mostly I think they're just mounted at this point. So that's artillery. There's 2 things of cavalry there. That's infantry. Okay, they got a decent amount of cavalry. Looks like 2, 5, just 5. Okay. It's mostly infantry, mostly artillery, and 2 units of cavalry, so they're about to run out of mobility at this point. And of course they broke into the town by the looks of it. Yeah, took both those fortification locations by the looks of it. Okay, so they did hit the Hardy Pioneer on the open. We don't know who's in the city. There's... So this is all the stuff that didn't enter the city after the attacks. So there's 2 cavalry that we know of, a bunch of infantry, and a bunch of damaged artillery. Try to get the veterans equipped up. Wherever possible. Any more veterans in there? No. Okay, so we got all the veterans equipped. Get one of these water red guys equipped. Some guns, because we got some service guns. These guys designated to start learning how to be veteran soldiers. Apparently it only takes 4 turns, so that's good to know. No, apparently I missed one, because we got one with, that's one with guns. Or maybe we had a couple just walking down. That might have been it. Nope, there's some more. Okay, I might have to deploy some of these guys just so I can make this menu work a little bit better. Again, I'm slightly also used to an older version of this. This is the first game I've played on 1.2. When I practiced over the break, it was actually, I think, 8.6. 0.8.6. So it was older version. And some of the graphics got changed up in the meantime. I think that's all of them. Okay. Cycle the turn, we can see where the Royal Army gets off to. So it looks like that fortress held. Defeat Port Royal. Piece of artillery has been damaged. Defeat, defeat, defeat. Victory, victory, defeat, victory. And that is damaged artillery in the open. Yeah, we'll blow that up. And we have George Washington, so any victory will result in these veteran guys promoting into Continental Cavalry. cavalry in the open. Should be an easy victory. Cool. Maybe it's supposed to be an easy victory, but sometimes even the easy ones you lose. And I think we've actually destroyed the mobile components of the remaining enemy force. Now it's time for counterattack. Attack bonus. This is our city, so we get a bonus for attacking to the city, although they get a 50% bonus because it is a colony that they're doing. Okay, I'm going to mobilize what remaining mobile reserves I have. I'm going to basically leave the artillery stationary. But everything else that's vaguely mobile, I'm going to try to pull up. Because I think we've got them on the back foot. Okay, whatever's in there probably has enough strength, apparently, to fight off the regular guys. Again, we got a couple of veteran dragoons in here. We'll mobilize them. Actually, I'm going to have one of you dismount. So we can get the Continental Infantry, District Dragoon, and active. And we'll activate you. We'll leave the stationary infantry here. Well, I say the stationary. We'll leave the infantry here, because the infantry lose the battle, they get rendered into regular people. There we go. Charles Bolton Royal. Again, I'm going to mobilize the... Actually, I'm going to leave the remaining guys here. I think we're good enough for the turn. Let's cycle the turn and see how the Royal Expeditionary Force responds to us driving them away from Port Royal. So instead of really fighting our guys in the open, it looks like they've mostly tried to maneuver around to attack places in our rear. Which, because we control the important portion of the road, means they didn't get any real attacks off this turn. We did have one Continental Cavalry demoted to Continental Infantry. Okay, so we've destroyed their forces in the open. So we're just attacking into an unknown number of enemies in the remaining cities. think we're probably better off with having a guy who's unmounted do some defense in the city. At least until we get some more horses for him. And to be fair, some of these guys over there are actually decently skilled. For example, this one can get mounted using some of the cavalry. So we dismount you to mount you. Oh, I'd be getting more food, which would get us more horses. Because, yes, the fishing is very good for fish, but the horse don't eat fish. Okay, we attack. There's a continental cavalry. I was able to remount. Okay, let's see how they handle. Okay, so once more they deploy some more of their reserves to attack, but because we control the roads, they don't really go anywhere. The attacks don't go anywhere. Of course, because they're in the city, we don't actually see how many guys they've got besides the ones they deploy forward. And military advisor doesn't tell us how many we got to go. It just tells us how many we've got. In the earlier version, I think it did tell you how many the Royal Expeditionary had. Supposedly, they still have 78 units. Although that would include all the boats as well. Let's move you north so we can get you remounted. You don't even have any guns. Go to Charles Ford. You don't have any guns. Again, you go to Charles Ford as well. Okay, so their fielded forces are all defeated. We just don't know what's in the town they took. At least one piece of infantry left in that city. Well, more than that, because we just killed one. Just killed one, didn't take the city. attack. Into the unknown. We can try to get you mounted up. Yeah, looks like there's mainly just an artillery piece defending the city at this point. Looks like that's all our mobile forces want, so we'll give the Royal Expeditionary Force one more go at it. And it does not look like they've deployed any troops into the field, so it looks like it's just the garrison of those two cities left. Yeah, and as far as this game is bloody for the Royal Expeditionary Force, depending on how things go, it's not very bloody for the Colonial Defenders. As you can see by the fact that most of our colonists are escaping to fight another day. At this point, because we think about them in the cities, I'm going to roll up the artillery. Start bombarding the city. Although the artillery will need to take 2 turns. One to get to the outskirts and one to start shooting. Because if we were to go in right now, we'll show you what the attack would look like. We'd have a movement penalty of 66%, and I think we need more bonuses than that. So we're just pushing the outskirts. We're going to want the artillery to be defended because they have malice in the attack. The malice in the open. Now, had we retaken all our cities and just be artillery in the open, they'd probably surrender at this point. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just artillery and maybe a Royal Infantryman in Hadosak. Oh, I don't even have any horses here. Oh, we're running real low on horses. I don't have any horses up in Charles Ford. I do. I have enough to mount up one batch. So those veterans that just mounted up are going to have their horses probably taken from them. For the Continental Regulars. Dismount. Mount. Okay, at this point, you can't get any horses because we don't have any to give you. taking the city back. So at this point, we're going to attack the other city. There's at least some infantry left in that last city. Actually, if we can get enough of these guys, get you on making Liberty Bells. There we go. A little bit of an artillery duel there, although it was a short one. Two defeats, a victory. And our colonial regulars need... I forgot to sign students to them, that's what happened. Trying to get artillery involved. Oh, of course, because I put the place on a conifer forest, they get a defensive bonus from that as well. That should be it. And we end the turn and get rewarded with the victory screen. There we go. We are victorious. We'll continue. Your Excellency, the French Expeditionary Force are at peace with us. We have defeated the French Royal Expeditionary Force and finally gained independence. Your custom houses may now freely sell to European merchants without tax or royal interference. They have withdrawn or declared an unconditional withdrawal from the New World affairs. And we complete another piece of artillery. Oh, at some point I must have... Oh, I started a game up to check something. And this was the, if you remember the discussion from the very first episode, where we were having issues with graphics. That was this one. That was the bottom one here. So this is up here. We managed to win in autumn of 1691, scoring 11,000 points, 11,317 points on medium difficulty. We have 174 units, 5 colonies at the end. And that is victory. And Twitch chat saying, very nice, and thanks for telling me, very nice. So that's where we're going to obviously end this run. The part took a little bit longer than I hoped, but with that, we now have victory. If there's any stats you want to see, if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to let me know. I can go ahead and make a short video opening up and in the stat tabs here. We're going to put a quick save in here so I don't lose the state in case someone wants to see something. This is French victory. I think that saved it. Let's see. Shows up in the open. It's going in the wrong folder. Maybe. Don't know why it doesn't show up in the right file type. Let's go back in there. Should be saved. That's what it's trying to save to, so we'll save it to that so we don't lose it. And then if I'm doing open, it should show that one. Yeah. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube and you want to see any of the stat pages, feel free to let me know. I can go ahead and make a short video to reveal them. This is obviously where the run's going to end. We had a little bit of issues getting the graphics to work right on FreeCol. Mainly OBS issues. They weren't necessarily game issues. Does save FreeFans, yeah. So we've got a FreeFans save, which is this post-game save. Also, this is the first save that I've played on the updated graphics. Somewhere between the previous run that I did, which was on 0.8.6 and 1.2, which is the current live version that you can go download. I recommend doing. They updated the graphics to these high definition graphics, which are really nice looking. Not necessarily enjoying how they've affected the UI. Just gonna put that out there, because the previous UI was a little bit more usable and had a little bit more accessible information. Like, you have to do a tip over here to see the Rebels and the Royalists. The old version had that visible at all times, and that was useful. Now, you would have to tip over it to see how many turns it would be until you increase the Rebels, but that's useful tilt-tip information that doesn't necessarily need to be visible all the time. But specifically knowing how many Royalists you have, because if you go past 6, unless you have more than 50% Rebels, you take a penalty. So it's good to know where that is, and it's a little bit more reliable seeing, oh, where's 6 Rebels, than this is supposed to be giving the same information, which is how many more you can add to the place without getting a penalty. The old UI is a little bit better in that form. The old city UI, these images are nice, but specifically, I forget. I don't know if we can actually see the warehouse here. The old warehouse image, yeah, the old warehouse image did a better job of conveying what level it was on, and that's useful information because that tells you what your cap on your resources are before you start wasting them. So this is the warehouse expansion. I suppose if you're used to the look of the warehouse expansion, maybe that tells you what the warehouse expansion is. Same sort of thing with the walls. The old graphics for the walls were a little bit better for telling you what level walls you had in your city. Out here, this is a little bit better for walls, but the in the city version is a little bit worse. This is me critiquing the version I'm used to, this version versus the version I'm used to. Like, this walls looks like this. Oh no, it doesn't look like this one. Almost looks like that one though. Okay, so if you again if you're used to it, you probably can tell them apart. But and then they made it so these are adjustable in size, which that's a neat thing. But then this all bounces and pings around, and don't necessarily know how I appreciate that. They changed up how the units are in for the loading, unloading, and foot units unloaded. I think the foot units unloaded used to be on the right side, and it was a two-dimensional area instead of just the level one, which probably made it worse for scrolling, but for when you're trying to find things in it, was a little better. And the list usually didn't get along. This is me critiquing the UI in the game in comparison to the old UI. So I happen to like the old UI a little bit better than this one, but this one's prettier. I can give you that. This is definitely a prettier UI 1.2. Although maybe sometimes a little bit at the inhibition of other things. We got some nice trees in here. Which what did the trees? I think the trees are building upgrades that you can build that don't do anything if you don't have them. Right? That's what the trees are. But that one would probably be more useful to know. So this is what the warehouse looks like. So if you know what the warehouse and the warehouse expansion looks like, I think you can probably tell them apart. But the older version was like number of buildings in the image for telling them apart, so it was a little bit easier at glance. You didn't have to recognize, you didn't have to know what the high definition graphics looks like for each. You just like count the buildings. It's a minor thing. Again, this is probably, once you're used to this one, this was probably perfectly fine, perfect server. And then a different problem I was running into is I think in the old version, I don't think these were, you couldn't click and drag them, which is fine. In fact, actually, that sometimes resulted in some problems where I'm like, oh, I'm trying to grab something in and out of a boat, and I ended up grabbing the menu, and now I'm bringing the menu, and it's like, oh, I don't want that. Warehouse the same. Not sure if this on the coats is a bug. I was able to set everything else to 0. It might just be a problem. It just might be a bug with the coats. And this is how the custom house works. So you can come in here and use that automated custom things for the exports. I think if you don't have a custom house, if you have the export toggle and you have a trade route set up, this is the limit on what it will pick up or drop off from. Well, I think pick up from the location for transporting to elsewhere. And we didn't get enough Liberty Bells post Declaration of Independence that I don't actually have access to Europe yet. But that's fine, we won. At least I don't think I have access to Europe. Otherwise, you would normally be able to hit E to open up Europe. I've smashed it a couple times, and the fact that you haven't seen anything pop up is indicating I at least don't have access to Europe now. Those are the hotkeys, so Century Fortify. I used Fortify a lot. F's pretty good. I'll have to remember Go To as H, although I'll probably forget by the next time I play. Yeah, so that's the game. I think I'm gonna splurge, and I'm gonna run another episode of something tonight. I think we're gonna run the opening episode for Shadow Empire. So if you're watching on Twitch, I am gonna bring the stream down so that we get those broken up into 2 different videos for Twitch. And during the break, I'm actually gonna grab a cup of tea, and then we'll go do an episode of Shadow Empire. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm probably gonna try to post that Shadow Empire episode this day. So you can probably expect the first episode of Shadow Empire to be up this day. And then there probably will be an episode up tomorrow, which will probably be the second part to Shadow Empire. Obviously, FreeCol is done. There won't be another episode of FreeCol up, at least for the foreseeable future, unless people really want to see more. We're gonna try to keep the variety up and get some other games going in the channel. So, if you're watching on YouTube and you want to see any of the stats or anything else related to the video, feel free to leave a comment. Or if you have any questions about how any of the game mechanics work, I understand most of the game mechanics pretty well, so I can answer most of them. And then if you're on Twitch, feel free to let me know any comments before I'm going to bring the stream down. I'm going to keep the stream up for about a minute after I end the YouTube recording to respond to any of those comments. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. And with that, bye for now.